Hi, how are you? My name's Beta, and today I want to talk about the furry drama that never seems to end. Which, to be fair, any and all furry drama seems to qualify. But one in particular kind of shocks me that it's still happening. Because last time I saw this happen, there was unanimous support for this being a non-issue. Like, this is not problematic, this is not something that really needed to be argued about. The people angry about this drama topic weren't really reasonable in that case, so like we just kind of ignored it and moved on. But here we are again with the same reason coming up, and if not, this time being a bit more harsher than last. But either way, today I want to talk about the act of poodling in fursuit. So to start things off, let's explain what poodling is for those that don't know. Within the context of furry and fursuiting, poodling is the act of showing skin while you're fursuiting. So within the context of fursuiting, I am poodling right now because I'm showing the skin on my arms. It's separate from the character or fursona that I'm sort of acting out, and sort of breaks the immersion with showing that there's a human or person underneath the costume. It's kind of the same thing within the context of an actual poodle dog, if you think about it, so there's that. Now, partial fursuiting, on the other hand, sort of coincides with poodling, but it is different. So say, for example, I put on a jacket right now, and some pants, and covered up my hands with my hand paws and feet paws and fursuit head. In this case, I would be partial fursuiting, but I wouldn't be poodling, where I'd have an outfit for my character while I'm fursuiting, and no skin is shown on my body. I'm still immersed in the character. I'm not breaking the magic in this case, which that's another phrase used with regards to poodling, breaking the magic, which apparently there is some magic with fursuiting, like the people that immerse themselves in a character. And obviously every furry has different feelings on what they prefer. Do you prefer partialing? Do you prefer poodling? Do you prefer full suiting? Do you like breaking the magic or not? Is there magic to begin with? No matter who you ask in the furry fandom, there's always going to be different answers and different reasonings why. But all these different reasons potentially are valid, because realistically there is nothing wrong with doing any of these different levels of fursuiting. Do what makes you happy at the end of the day. But either way, how did this drama start? Well, it all started from two sets of tweets from two individuals earlier this week. We're going to go over the first one, which is a pretty simple statement, and the other one is kind of the opposite of that. It's kind of a batshit crazy thread of tweets making very big assumptions about fursuiting, or what you should and shouldn't do with fursuiting. Regardless of how you view both of these tweets, please respect the individuals behind them. Don't go out of your way to look for them or harass them. Just please be respectful. That's all I ask. I censored the names in the tweets for that exact reason, so yeah. And the first tweet reads as such: all of you people who poodle wearing a fursuit partial with skin exposed are wimps. Okay, so not exactly the most not antagonizing tweet out there with regards to fursuiting a certain way, but it's a tweet, and 250 people had something to say about it. Also, is it me, or does this tweet kind of read like the headline of "Man locks himself in hot car to prove that dogs and babies are cowards"? Like, it's not really a point that's being proven, it's just like, it's okay, sure. So in the case of this tweet, you can understand why people are upset. It's not someone just expressing their opinion or their preference for like full suiting. It's showing your distaste for poodling in that case, or at least labeling everyone who poodles as a wimp. One person replied asking what makes you say that, and the OP replied, one thing that I was a little disappointed in is that there were more poodles during the fursuit parade than there were people in full suits and partials. I'm an old school suitor and was always taught when in public, such as a parade, you never let skin show as it ruined the magic. So if you didn't have a full suit, you would wear your head with clothes and then hand paws. I certainly understand why people do it, as it's much cooler with your arms and legs exposed. But I have done the death walk at Anthrocon in full suit many times. I am fat, old, and very out of shape. If I can make it in a full suit through this parade, these young, skinny, in-shape furries can do it as well. I suppose I'm out of touch with modern furries for feeling this way. I hate to break it to you, but you kinda are. Sorry. But at least now we get a bit more context as to what they believe. They prefer full suiting, they don't like breaking the magic, they want to keep the immersion of the character, and so they themselves have done the death walk at Anthrocon, which is doing the fursuit parade out and about in the city when it's in the middle of the summer at a convention, when it's sunny and hot out, and it's at least like 80 degrees. So like you do the death walk where you're super hot, which apparently this year at Anthrocon, it wasn't just hot, but it was humid, and apparently before the con there were a bit of air quality issues, so it probably wasn't the best to fursuit in general. But from everyone that went to the con, from what I heard, they just just preferred partialing or poodling. They rarely got into full suit because it was just that unbearable to fursuit while it was hot out, which honestly I can understand. I mean, I can't even full suit right now and I'm in air conditioning. But regardless of what you may feel about a certain way of fursuiting, it's not the best look to kind of dictate or say what you should and shouldn't do with regards to fursuiting, which in this case with the tweets, they're not saying you can't poodle, but it kind of feels like I suffer in the heat while fursuiting, so therefore other people should too. You know, I will admit it's very admirable to be able to get in fursuit, go out in the sun, and walk around like the city for like a few hours. And it's okay to feel proud in achieving that you did it. But at the same time, it shouldn't be used as a means of degrading others who choose not to. And especially something as simple as fursuiting. You know, we've been kind of glossing over it as like fursuiting is this big, magical, amazing thing, which to some it is. But at the same time, it's an animal costume. It's not really that deep, at least the way I view it. So like, why are we in some sense degrading and insulting others for enjoying their own way of fursuiting? Which that's all this is. It's a way of expressing ourselves. We might, for all that matter, only have a fursuit head, for example. And that's the thing as well. There are many different reasons why people might poodle, not just because of like the heat, but also because bodysuits are expensive. I remember when I was charged like $3,000 for my bodysuit and I kind of wanted to, you know, go to conventions that year. So I kind of just kept the partial that I had. Could be health issues. Not everyone is in tip-top shape, even if they may seem that way. And you're also like at the con to enjoy it as well. You could challenge yourself and like do it if you really want, but like I personally don't want to overheat myself for fun, you know, which to be honest seems kind of dangerous to do so. Like in this case, health and safety and personal enjoyment in fursuiting should always trump the idea of keeping the magic. But regardless, that's one of the tweets that got a lot of furries riled about the whole poodling thing and started this drama to begin with. The other one, which is the big one, is what kind of sent the drama on the course that it's going now. If you were to go to the theater and the main actor took off half his costume in the middle of the representation and then took a break right in the middle of the stage, would you be happy? No. I'm pretty sure you would feel it is a lack of respect to the public and other actors. Now, fursuiting in public is the exact same thing. You are an actor portraying a character and it is expected to keep doing so as long as your public can see you. I'm talking about public parades and suiting around normies here, not a private room party or something. Let's break this down before we go on. First sentence, fursuiting in public is the exact same thing. Now, to some extent, yes, it is with like putting on a character, putting on a fursona or a fursuit. You're acting in character, you're being an actor in this case. But like fursuiting and acting aren't one and the same. They're not strictly the same exact thing. You are an actor portraying a character and it is expected of you to keep doing so as long as your public can see you. Dude, like that's a lot to assume about what the public thinks or feels about a fursuiter or just furries in general. Also, can I just go on the record for saying we need to stop caring so much about what the public thinks about furries. I feel like this is how a lot of furry drama has come to be as of recently, of this perceived notion that the public or mainstream media has this way of thinking about furries and we need to make sure that they like furries. Like, oh my god, I don't think there's anyone that doesn't know about furries, whether it's misinformation or accurate information. They know that furries are a thing, okay? I'm talking about public parades and suiting around normies here, not a private room party or something. So again, just like public perception, it really shouldn't matter. When fursuiting in public, you sign into an implicit agreement, the same one that is expected of any other actor. Do you see what I'm getting at? There's no implicit agreement. It's furry. People aren't gonna look at furry and actor and see the same thing. That means respecting the public by not removing parts of your costume and having a complete costume in the first place, and respecting other suitors who put efforts and care into their suit and acting. Wow, goddamn, way to really assume the position of what other fursuiters like care about. This is very much a situation of making a big issue over something that is little to no issue at all. TLDR, don't ruin the fucking magic. There you go. There's the magic word, quite literally magic word. Don't ruin the magic. But you know, if you're telling me to do that and swearing at me to do that, usually I'm not gonna do that or even really respect the request to do that. And I'm not saying you need to have a top of the line full body suit. Putting together a good enough partial suit is not hard and it can look very good. I mean, you're right about partial fursuits looking good, but like, I don't know how you can be optimistic and like supportive of like not poodling and dedicating to a character right after you say, don't ruin the fucking magic and everything else that was stated before. That's like such a switch there. Like, what do you expect to get when you swear at someone? someone like that. I mean, I know I swear, but just like when you say something like don't ruin the fucking magic and make a demand like that, what do you expect is gonna happen? Honestly, that's just what I want to know. But one thing I will agree with what they're saying is that partial fursuits look very good. If anything, I'm in the category of people that prefers partial fursuits over full suits. And don't get me wrong, I love full suits too. It's just like, you know, partial fursuit and fursuit is kind of like that cake meme of like, oh, their cake's not as good looking as mine. They're not gonna like mine as much. And then I'm like, whoa, 2 cakes? Let's go! Like, I don't care. I like fursuits regardless. Partial fursuit, full fursuit. The one thing I prefer, first and foremost, is that your fursuiting experience is the best that you can make it and you're having the most fun with that. That is what I prefer. That is what I demand of you. Have the best time that you can while fursuiting, within reason. To clarify, it wasn't about safety. I'm not telling anyone to stay in suit until passing out. But apparently everyone missed the point, so have fun being pissed. I'm going away for a couple of weeks, so later, guys. See, that's why I feel like, to some extent, this might have been a bait thread. But also, like, I just can't understand demanding people to not break the fucking magic, then being like, oh, I'm just gonna go, bye. I don't think many people missed the point of it. It wasn't about the safety. It's about the outrageous demand to change how you're fursuiting because someone else wants you to. So with these 2 tweets, or these 2 individuals tweeting, the drama started. The rounds were made on furry Twitter, and now we're currently at the point where people are celebrating those who poodle in fursuit or want to partial while showing skin in fursuit. Which, to be honest, I'm not opposed. I get to see more awesome fursuit pics and awesome outfits that people have in fursuit. And that's the other thing as well. Like, partial fursuiting has become such a big thing nowadays. Wearing these different outfits and clothing designs while in fursuit, or just with the fursuit head, hand, paws, and tail, has become such a big thing. Like, example, I remember when streetwear started becoming a thing within furry. So, you know, like the Machine 56 jackets and pants. It started being a thing back in, like, I think 2018, 2019 or so. And ever since then, it has blown up. I went to a con and I saw people getting together for like a Machine 56 fursuit photo shoot. And they looked so amazing in all their outfits. It was crazy. So I guess with like the rise of partial fursuiting and by proxy poodling, I feel like a lot of those who have been dedicated to the magic mentality with fursuiting are kind of upset about this. You know, things are changing. They dedicated to this character. They want to stay with the character. And so they see others breaking it and might be upset by that. And I will say there are healthy ways of expressing this and not expressing this. And clearly in this whole thread here, it's not a healthy way of expressing it, I would think. Insulting others and telling people you need to fursuit a certain way is not the right way of doing it. The only thing you can do with regards to keeping the magic is upholding your own values if you really want to do so. And to be honest, I have a ton of respect for fursuiters that want to keep the magic, that stay in character as soon as their fursuit head goes on, or like become a silent suitor as soon as they put on their fursuit. It's always so fascinating to see, and I have nothing but respect for those that want to do it. But it doesn't mean that I don't respect furries that don't want to do that. And that should go for every furry out there. Just be respectful for fursuiters that choose to fursuit the way they want. And I've even seen some fursuiters who do follow the magic very explicitly and stay in character when they're in fursuit, who gave some very valid opinions on this whole thing. And one of them, which is a quote retweet to the original thread of like, don't break the magic, reads as such: "I'm a strong believer in the magic. I know my limits and context and will keep my own magic going as long as I can. I'll take breaks as much as I want and need out of public eye. Even with 30 plus years of mascot and fursuit experience, I cannot dictate fursuit rules for others. And that's how it should be through and through." So you even have someone here who's been dedicated to following the magic for many, many years through furry, who doesn't follow this bad take of wanting to dictate rules for others for fursuiting. As much as they believe in the magic, they respect the opinions and decisions of what people want to do with their fursuits. And that's all that should matter at the end of the day. But I think the one thing that needs to be kept in mind for those that don't really believe in the magic or don't care, which I'm personally one of those, I don't care about the magic that much, is the mutual respect on both ends. From those that don't care about breaking the magic to those that put on the full character when they're in full suit. To those that follow the magic, it might be sad to see others that might not care about it. But at the end of the day, all you can do is live up to your own magic and be happy and content with what you're able to do. So what's the big lesson with all this drama? Well, in years past, it's always been that like there's nothing wrong with poodling. Partial fursuiting is okay, and you shouldn't be dictated on how you fursuit. Which apparently, from a bit more research, I learned that this happened after MFF 2007, where this was sort of a similar issue where people were dictating how others fursuited or partial fursuited or showed skin while fursuiting. Which, if it was happening back then, I think honestly some drama is just bound to repeat itself. But I like to hope that by covering this, we all become a little bit smarter with how we handle it. Actually, I know the perfect solution to this whole problem. We should start reverse poodling. You know how we've been posting all like the poodling photos all over Twitter? Let's start pushing for reverse poodling, where we put on our bodysuits and nothing else. Just have our head and hands and feet exposed and take pictures of us reverse poodling in our bodysuits. Let's make that a trend now. But regardless, thank you all for watching. If you have any suggestions on what can be done going forward, be sure to let me know in the comments below. Please be sure to check out Kaba's video on controversy in the furry fandom. They did a wonderful job covering the 2019 poodling drama that happened and used that as like the big example of how drama flows in the furry fandom and how social media is like a feedback loop of serotonin from like the clicks we get on interactions, and like how dunking on a hot take can give serotonin and is a bad habit sort of thing. So yeah, there's your homework for tonight, because I'll be referencing that video many times in the future, because they did such a better job at covering controversy in the furry fandom than I ever could. I guess another thing to keep in mind as well is just like training ourselves with social media. Like if someone says like you're a wimp for poodling in fursuit, like at least to me, it doesn't really matter. Like I just look at that and chuckle and move on. I don't really dunk on that person unless I'm looking for like internet brownie points or something, because realistically, like I'm just kind of doing me. And if they don't like it, that's okay. Not everyone is going to like what you do, but at the very least, understanding what makes you happy and doing that is all that matters. So hey, you know, use this video as a reference, because I don't see the poodling furry drama evolving anywhere past what it already has been. But either way, that's about gonna do it for me. Hope you all have a wonderful night, and as always, stay life jacket. So bye. Yeah, bye. Bye. Bye.